my name is Michaela Deshawn, and welcome back to my channel. Last week was my birthday, so I wanted to thank everyone who wished me a happy birthday, everyone who liked, commented, subscribed, shared. It meant the world to me, and I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you for tuning back in. If you're watching this right now, I'm so glad you're here. We are lit. We lit together. So if you watched my video last week, you already know what I mentioned. I mentioned advice, encouragement. One thing I'm so excited about is story time. So today I was like, why not start the year off good with a great story time? So for the record, this story is 100% true. I won't mention the names just for privacy reasons, but it's crazy. So check it right. Last year, 2021, I moved into my first apartment in 2019, right? I got married in 2020. We moved out 2021, right? January 2021, we wanted a bigger space. My husband decided he wanted to get a professional speaker system that took up the whole living room. So we just needed more space. So we found this house, 3-bedroom house, 2 stories, over 1,200 square feet, huge backyard, right, in Hampton, Virginia. We found it and we're like, oh my gosh, such a great steal. So the price for it was $910 for a 3-bedroom, 2 full bathroom, washer and dryer included, huge backyard. The only catch at the time, what I thought was it was only 1 parking space, right? So we're like, oh, we have to hop on this. Our lease is ending here. We need more space. Let's go ahead and make this move, right? So we make the move, we go check it out. And you know how you get that feeling at the pit of your stomach, like this is too good to be true? It was, but I'm gonna finish telling y'all the story as to why it was too good to be true. So we view the home, right? I look at the window. We walk up to a home. It's like a window because there's a living room and the kitchen and everything, right? I look at the window and there's like this hole there. So I asked the lady who's showing us the home. I said, ma'am, what is this hole? Like, where did this come from? She says, oh, this just, we're not really sure. We'll get that repaired for you, right? We're like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm like, all right, cool, check it. Life goes on. Review the home, first of all, the carpets was filthy, but I'm like, they can be cleaning. I'm a very optimistic person. My husband's like, oh, this is really nice space. We can do this, we can do that. I'm like, okay, cool. Review the house and everything seems and appears to be awesome, right? Sometimes things aren't always as they seem, but that's okay. So time goes on, we settle in, we get some furniture in, everything's seemingly cool. We meet our neighbors. Our neighbors were very unique for better terms, if you catch my drift, they're very unique individuals. And so one of our neighbors, we finally got to have a conversation with them. And, she's giving us a lowdown on the house, right? She's like, please get the house sanitized. It was crazy things that went down at this house. I'm like, whatever do you mean? She's like, girl, it was a drug house, DRUG. I don't know what YouTube's laws and policies are, but it was a drug house, right? Crack house, right? And so I'm like, oh my gosh, are you serious? She's like, yeah, it was raided, and that's their abandoned vehicle down there, which was down the block. I'm like, there's no way. She says, as a matter of fact, there was a shootout, which is why there's a bullet hole which was the same hole I saw in the beginning. I was like, ma'am, what is this hole? She says, oh, I don't know, we'll get it repaired. It was a bullet hole, y'all, in the window. So I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I'm optimistic. I'm like, well, we're here now. We control our own atmosphere. Wherever we go, the atmosphere changes and shifts. So I'm like, I'm not even worried about that. Prayed the house out, cleaned it, bleached everything, got it shampooed and deep conditioned and everything. Everything's seemingly good. Time goes on, y'all. Y'all with me? All right. So time goes on, and the house is seemingly nice, beautiful, nice, big, roomy, spacious. And first problem that happens, the floor in the living room was a really big living room. The floor in the living room starts to get wet, right? So I'm like, well, we're not even really in here. It's just 2 of us. We found out there's a leak, a pipe that was leaking underneath the house, right? Boom. That was a problem. We're concerned about mold and different things like that. Pretty much said there was nothing they could do. They couldn't find anything, but water was literally coming up through the ground, through the carpet, and the carpet was wet and almost like a film of standing water on top of it, right? And then it would go away at times. Then next problem that happened, time went on. We're like, you know what? It's okay. We're going to press through it. Everything's fine. We just need a place to crash. You know what I mean? We'll keep looking for our next place or whatever when that time comes. time goes on, y'all, right? And I'm trying to be optimistic. My husband's trying to be optimistic. We get that first water bill, baby. We get the first water bill and power bill, y'all. It's just two of us, and we're barely home. We both work full time. Why was our water bill over $300? Our electricity bill was over $400. And it's just two of us. So we call. We're like, what's going on? They tell us, they said, your meter is inaccurate, right? We're like, of course it is. It was a wrong reading on the meter. Kept reading wrong, right? And it was picking up something from somewhere else. And the water that kept coming up, I guess it was charging us for the water. So for the time we were there, each month our bills were, water bill was well over $200 each time. Electricity bill was around the same. And mind you, the gas bill as well. So these are the type of problems we're beginning to have, like, repetitively. You know me, I'm very good with documentation. I'm sending emails, please see attached, per my last email. So, you know, all these things are happening. We're still optimistic. We're like, you know what? God is in control. No worries, right? Time goes on, right? All of a sudden, we don't have any heat. Now, mind you, this during the time, it's January. It's ice cold outside. It's like 30, 40 degrees outside. It's freezing cold. Our unit is frozen shut. I mean, it's frozen. It's not working. It's snow, ice covered all over it. Didn't have any heat in the house for days, right? Actually, maybe about a week or two. We're calling them. We're like, look, we have kids here. We were watching some younger kids at the time. We're like, you know, it's not our problem. We're like, ma'am, it's like houses inside was about 20, 15 degrees. That's not our problem. So that was a concern. We're like, you know what? It's okay. Time goes on, right? Then it gets, you know, gets a little bit warmer outside. Then we don't have any AC. And anybody that knows me know I don't do well in heat. I can't do it. I'm just not built for that. I need the AC. God, thank you. I need it. Yeah, we didn't have no AC. So that was a problem, right? Then bring to the next problem. Then we were wondering why the house, it just wouldn't, no matter what temperature we would set it, it would never get to the temperature we put it on. The back door had a huge gaping space underneath it, and air would kept coming underneath the door. So we had to get a door stopper put in. We're like, okay, no problem. Then time goes on. We discover that the reason why our bills are so high there is that the house was built over a sinkhole. There was a sinkhole that occurred there, and they continued to build the house over it and just put rocks and stuff, and whatever system that they tried to put in place was inaccurate, and it was giving false readings, right? So that was a concern, right? And it was just problem after problem after problem after concern after concern. Then upstairs, our shower head, you know, I wish I had pictures and like examples to show y'all. Our shower head was literally detached from the wall. So we're like, okay, you know, can you guys come fix it? Whatever, whatever. Time goes on. Then we realize one of our upstairs rooms, it's actually very hot. It's about almost 80 something degrees. We don't know why, but it was just really, really hot constantly and will only get hotter. So that was a concern. Had to reach back out to them to get that fixed. Overall, problem after problem after problem. You're probably like, well, this isn't really a bad story. I ain't got to the bad and messed up part yet. So time goes on, right, y'all? Boom. Mind you, we moved in this house the second week of January of 2021, right? Whatever, I don't remember really what the last situation was that happened. It was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. But whatever it was, I went on Google and I left a review because they had stopped responding. They weren't responding to our calls, to our emails, kept saying it wasn't our problem, blah, blah, blah. And mind you, both of us are very good with policy revision, policy interpretation. I'm like, babe, this is what your policy says. This is what our rental agreement says. It says that you're entitled to do X, Y, and Z. This is what blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I already know. Y'all trying to scam people. So it's like, you know what? No big deal. We moved in there the second week of January, y'all. I don't know what happened, but I left the kind review. You know, guys, please, this is our experience here, blah, blah, blah. You know, I really don't recommend it here for, you know, this rental company, blah, blah, blah. So they took that review, mind you, just after they weren't responding, whatever the case may be, blah, blah, blah. They took the review, then sent us a letter in the mail, right? Sent us a letter in the mail that basically said, you have 30 days to get out. You have 30 days to get out because the house is deemed unlivable. It's deemed as, I forgot what the word they used, but basically the house was not fit to sustain human life, or It wasn't built to sustain, to care for people and to be able to have people safely there. And so when we looked at the date of damage they put was April 30th, which at the time we got this letter, it was maybe end of March, April 1st time frame. So they put a future date of damage on the paper, right? And then on the paper, it said that it was worded as though that we requested to terminate our lease. And so we're like, we did not request to terminate the lease. And at this time, we knew we were going through a lot with the house. It was literally problem after problem, forking over hundreds of almost thousands of dollars, really, in conjunction with the other bills for this house, but hundreds of bills unnecessarily for wiring problems, for misreading of meters and stuff, just to stay in this house. That's how I know God is real, y'all, because God really kept us there and kept us afloat, and we're still able to do what we wanted, do what we needed. So they gave us this letter, and the way it was worded is though we reached out to them to terminate our lease, right? So we called them. We called them ever so kindly, ever so respectfully. Dear so-and-so, what is this letter that we received in the mail? Oh, yeah, that's your 30-day notice. You guys have 30 days to pack your things and to get out. The house was deemed unlivable. So my husband's like, well, what's the date of damage? What's going on? Like, what happened to make it unlivable? And she was like, actually, you guys just aren't a good fit here. You guys aren't a good fit, So I don't really think that, it's our relationship can continue. So I'm like, ain't no way. You put a future date of damage. Baby, if it's unlivable, then it's unlivable now. So you're going to have to pay for the difference. So we're like, you know what? At this point in time, I'm stressed. I'm like, okay, what can we do? We got to get out. I'm like, God, where are we going to go? Where are we going to move to? We have to pack all these things. We literally just moved here less than 3 months ago. And so we reached out to our lawyer, and that turned into a whole fiasco. But moral of the story was, we ended up leaving. We bowed out gracefully because at the end of the day, we didn't want to stay there. We just didn't have a place to go. We couldn't find another rental property at the time, whatever the case may be. But God, in the nick of time, we came in contact with this place, which is where we reside currently. And it's so beautiful and so kind. And our experience has been 10 times better. Not a single problem. If there was a problem, it was addressed very efficiently. So I say all that to say, I know that's probably not like a super crazy story for y'all. But baby, it was super crazy story for me and my family. I'm talking about spending hundreds of dollars, $300, $400 for each individual bill. They're telling me it's our fault. Then saying they're not going to reimburse us and didn't prorate the rent. And then, this is the thing I forgot to tell y'all. So, you know how you give a security deposit in the beginning, right? When you move in somewhere, you give them a security deposit. Now, when you move out, what comes out of that security deposit is usually like, if you broke something or if you didn't clean it well, whatever the case may be, whatever they need to repair the home to put it in good condition for someone else to live in it, it comes out of your security deposit, right? Baby, we clean the house, you know what I mean? Do what we're supposed to do, whatever the case may be. I call them like, hey, it's been this many days, it said it would be 30 to 45. It's been almost 60, we haven't received a security deposit. Oh, we'll send it today. We get the security deposit in the mail, and it's about a couple of $100 less than what it's supposed to be. Because I'm expecting the full amount, maybe like if you want to pay to get it sanitized. But I'm like, okay, so what's the problem? She was like, oh, well, when we went to go look at the house, the grass wasn't done and the backyard wasn't done. Y'all, mind you, we moved out April, like between the first and second week of April was when we moved out, packed our things. We had found another place. We had went ahead and transitioned. When we got this letter and, not the letter, but when we got the money, for our security deposit, this was at the end of May, almost June. And they were like, yeah, when we went there, the grass wasn't done. It was out of whack and blah, blah, blah. We're like, okay, well, what day did you go there? Because when we left there, we turned our keys in. We let you guys know we were leaving and pay whatever money you wanted us to pay. Everything was in good condition because we believe in doing things with the spirit of excellence here. It was in great condition. We asked her, well, what day did you go, Miss So-and-so? She says, oh, we just went yesterday. After we were already left. Y'all, they charged us almost almost $300 to mow the lawn and to get a professional lawn service for something that they should have been inspected the house months ago. So, y'all, that's just a short synopsis story. I don't know if anyone else has had a crazy rental property experience like that, but this was like really bad, like really, really, really bad for us, really stressful. I mean, I don't even know why. God kept us. God really kept us for the less than 3 months we were there. But I just wanted to share that funny story with you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It was too crazy. I don't even know if I really vocalized and really captured the craziness on what was happening, but I hope I did. I hope that it brought joy to your heart. I hope that it made you laugh. But all in all, even though it was a crazy situation and it seemed as though like, man, this is the perfect place, it ended up turning out to be like sour, like not a good experience. Like, this doesn't work for me. But God brought us to a better place, somewhere place that's more peaceful. It's been a really huge blessing. So it was a temporary trouble for a permanent solution and a permanent blessing. So I hope that encouraged you. I hope that it brought some joy and love to your house. Tune in next week, Thursdays at 8 p.m. And I will see you guys. All right, y'all. Bye.